Stacy. We are here, episode
Hey,
108.
How are you?
If I was any better, the smile would just burst off my face. I love that episode 8 sign that you have. I mean, it just brings such clarity. There is no mistaking the episode. As soon as we start, everybody knows what to expect. It's like when you go to Olive Garden.
Right.
Olive Garden to Olive Garden to Olive Garden. It's all the same. You know, the salad, you know, the breadsticks, you know, the pasta. Okay. You know, the put together meals that you can take home in the little black and clear container and you can have them for lunch later in the week. It's all the same. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. Not much new. Just mom's good. Just waiting on surgery date. We're trying to get it done earlier.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have a new T-shirt person. Did I hear?
I think we do have a new T-shirt person. I think we do. I've been in preliminary talks with a dear, close family member of mine who may or may not, but more than definitely will be doing T-shirts. We just have to smooth out the rough edges. Yes. So we'll have a big thing on that coming up very soon. Yeah. But yeah, that's just around the corner. So we have some pretty good ideas of some stuff. And also, Stacy, I wanted to talk more about the Rocky contest.
Okay.
Judges for our Rocky contest. I thought, this is such a good idea. And a lot of people have been writing to me. And I thought one of the top people that we're going to bring in, I think, for a judge. All right. We're going to bring in Shawn O'Donnell from Ireland.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're gonna fly him in and he'll stay here with me. Yeah. It'll be on the Rocky Files, corporate jet, corporate account. Right. And yeah, we have a Gulfstream 10, which is pretty nice. And so we'll fly him and Irene over. And we'll have Shawn. We'll put Shawn through a bit of a private testing to make sure he's up to the rigors of judging. But I think Shawn is going to be a good judge. Now, have you thought about anyone in particular that you'd like to put in? Because I have one other person of the female persuasion I'd like to add to the list. But is there anyone you could think of you'd like?
It's funny. I'm having a hard time because I'm like, do I want them as a judge or do I want them as a participant? You know, so that's a tough one.
You know, maybe you and I will do a Zoom when we're not recording, and we'll really kind of come around the edges on this a little better. Maybe we'll really tighten this up because I thought about this. I've been thinking about this a lot actually, and I think it's a great idea. I would put Shawn was very clear when I spoke with him. He would prefer to be a judge. He would prefer to be a judge. But I think it's somebody like Trish, right? I think. See, it's going to be tough to see who's the biggest Rocky fan because she certainly fits the mold. Right. She fits the bill perfectly. But also she gets Rocky on a level that I think is superior to a lot of other fans that are out there. And I think she really would be a great judge. But I say we put that question to Trish if she'd want to be a judge or be a contestant, because you and I have talked about the prize.
Right.
The prize will be so unbelievable, right? Like crazy expensive. Everything is huge. No expense will be spared. It will be just really going crazy. So
why don't we leave it in the live chat too? Just you know, vote. Who do you think should be our judges? See what the live chat says. I'd be curious.
I like that, Stacy. In the live chat, please say, you know, if you're watching, if you would want to be considered for the greatest fan of all time, Rocky, or would you rather be a judge? And I don't know. What do we do? Like the Supreme Court? How many do we have? Do we have 9 judges? Do we have 7 judges? Do we have 5 judges?
I like 7.
You like 7?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to just write that down because I'll forget these things. So far, we're going to do 7 judges. That's something that we know. 7 judges for the Rocky contest. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. So that's a start to this. So guys, if you have any other ideas or thoughts, put them in the live chat. And this is something we're going to be continually, I think, maybe talking about and working on. This is something I really want to jump on sooner than later. All right.
Now, you sent me an article on I Play Rocky in the Rocky prequel. I know you had a lot of thoughts around the challenges here.
Yeah, and I read the article and it just made me think how a lot of people. I made some notes here. So you're talking about. All right, so when I Play Rocky, which we know is going to be a real movie with actors and actresses chronicling the how Rocky came to be on the big screen, and a lot of people online were extremely confused when I posted this a few weeks back. They were like, "Oh, this is just another money cash grab, and why are they doing this?" And I said, "No, you don't understand. This is not Rocky 7. This is not Creed 4. This is the origins of how Rocky came to be." And then I don't know if any of you guys, I think I mentioned this before. Have you guys seen The Offer, which is the similar movie like this? It's a 10-part miniseries or 8-part miniseries, either on Apple or one of the streaming services. Miles Teller, the actor he's a guy from Philadelphia. He plays the head producer that actually got The Godfather made. And they had to find a Charlie. I'm sorry, they had to find a Brando. They had to find a Al Pacino, a Talia Shire. It was phenomenal. And so if they can do as good a job with that as this I Play Rocky, then it's going to be just a knockout. It's something I've been hoping for a long time. But the problems that are, if he doesn't look enough like Stallone at 30, right? If he doesn't look enough like him, it becomes almost distracting, because throughout the entire thing, you're saying, this guy doesn't look like Stallone. There's no way I can believe this is going to be Rocky. And then they got to get the physique really close. You can't have a guy that's chiseled, and you can't have a dad bod. You've got to have that Rocky 1 look. You got to have that. And I think like CGI can only do so much. And I know that can do a lot with CGI, but that's got to be a big hurdle, because even though I don't think it has to look exactly like Sly, it really has to look like in the ballpark. Don't you think?
Right. Yes, but think about some of the things we've seen. So Bohemian Rhapsody, if you put that actor next to Freddie Mercury, directly side by side, they do not look alike. But with makeup, oh my God, it is unbelievable. They did the same with the Elton John movie. That actor side by side with Elton John does not look the same. And who is the other one I'm thinking of? Judy Garland.
Oh, Renee Zellweger, right?
She doesn't look anything like Judy Garland, but with the makeup, it's unbelievable. There's one other movie that blew me away. I'm not thinking of it at the moment, but it'll come to me. I also posted this woman she says, "Oh, I become Rocky." And remember how you watched her put her makeup on and what she could do?
That's crazy, right?
So I think just what you can do with makeup is going to get them pretty close to capturing his features.
And then you got to go with the way that he acts and walks and emulating all of those things. There's a very certain walk that Stallone has, and it hasn't really changed.
That's true.
That much since back in the day. I mean, I've got a video of him in the mid 70s and even before that. And that walk is always there. He always had this very pronounced type of walk to him.
Right.
So, now in Rocky, that more like a shuffle with the box and all, throwing punches and all that. I know that changes it a little bit, but so that's something they got to think about. But now, what if they go into production with the prequel to Rocky, right? So I don't think the prequel is going to happen anytime soon. So that's going to negate a lot of this. I just don't get the feeling it's going to happen, because to me, when Creed 3 came out, MGM went to Sly and they said, "We want to do Rocky 7 or the prequel on Amazon, either one. We want this. We want it done." And Sly wrote it. And so he wrote a movie. He either wrote it or he has a movie version of Rocky 7, which would be, Rocky cleaning up the neighborhood of drugs at, 78, 80 years old. And then you would see the drugs over Mickey's gym and then have a flashback. And then we would see young Rocky. So, but, Stallone wants to tell the story via Amazon, where he can get 8, 9, 10 episodes at an hour each, because then you can really delve into the backstory. And of course, that's what we all want. We would prefer that. What do you think?
No, absolutely. I would love, that's the way of Cobra Kai. And like you said, The Offer, as I love the multiple 10 episodes. Oh, come on. It could be you could make it 20 episodes, and of course the Rocky fans would be thrilled. But as you were talking, I remembered Elvis. That Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When I saw them pick him, I was like, really? He doesn't look like him. But my God, he had and Elvis obviously had a lot of moves.
Yeah, Elvis
had him just absolutely memorized. Such an amazing idea. Point. So I think, you know, the talent out there is significant, and if you find the right guy, it'll be close enough.
And a young Rocky like doesn't have to be like a 30-year-old Rocky. So we've never seen on film a young Rocky depicted. So an actor can put their own stamp on that. You know, obviously with Sly's blessing and help and all that, but still, like the only thing we know, there's little hints in the novels, in the scripts, some of the scripts that are out there, that things that never made the movie, and of course, some of the deleted scenes in the first Creed movie. There's that scene where Rocky goes into the basement, he's unloading the truck in the man door in the basement, you know, at the restaurant, and he's in Balboa, not in Creed 1, it's in Balboa, and Steps is there with him, and Steps they're talking about little Marie, and Rocky's giving him a life lesson. And he said he never had a mother. He said his parents took off on the arches. In other words, on their feet, they took off. So all we know is that at a young age, Rocky's parents left. So when you combine that with some of the other information I mentioned, you get a little clearer picture, but nothing that really fans would really know if they didn't do research on it. Anyways, hey, what episode is this? 108, you said, right?
108. So back in 2008, what came out, Michael?
Oh my God, Rambo 4, arguably one of the best Rambos. I mean,
yes,
First Blood is always my favorite. Rambo 2 has such nostalgia for me, for a variety of reasons. Also, I think it's a kick-ass movie. Rambo 3, I know a lot of fans have their highs and lows on it. I appreciate it. But my God, at 60 years old, Rambo 4 comes out. Yeah. It was maybe the most vicious, I think, action movie I've seen in either forever or quite some time. I mean, it was intense. What were your thoughts? I don't actually know what you think about Rambo 4.
So Rambo 4, I think the biggest difference for me is it was really settling into the audience about the realities of war, not making it into an action piece. That we're not glorifying war, that there was a more sort of beaten down, more cynical version of Rambo in Rambo 4. And so I felt like, it was a little bit different tone. It wasn't so 80s. It was more like, this is war and it's this ugly. And
the comic bookness was all taken, like Rambo 2. He runs through the jungle. The Vietnamese and Russian army can't hit him with one bullet. They can't. And he's on a rock, waterfall, takes the bow out and blows up the Vietnamese commander. I mean,
cauterizes his own wound.
Right, Rambo 3 puts the bullet in, flames shoot out. I mean, I feel like kind of like very not that masculine. I feel not that tough when I see that scene in Rambo 3, because about 2 years ago, I had a problem with my front toe. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. Yeah, that's right.
So they gave me 6 shots of Novocaine in my toe, which I whimpered like a child getting the shot.
It's painful. It's
awful. That's just the shot. They didn't even start sawing yet. So then they start sudding and prying up my toenail, and I'm like, I feel that. Stop. I feel. They go, no, you're not. That's just phantom feeling it. You don't really feel it. And I pass out from the pain. Then when I come to, I start vomiting into a bucket, and it's this like 65-year-old, like what are they called? The feet people, the podiatrist, right?
Podiatrist, yeah.
And her assistant, who was about 75, and I'm sitting, I'm all clammy, and did I just pass out? And she said, yeah. Do you feel that pain? And I did, and I'm like, I'm grunting and groaning. And here Rambo has fire shooting through his abdominals. Let's go climb the side of the mountain next.
Well, that's the magic of movies. Movie magic.
The deal here is that I can't take pain. So I get that. I get that. At any rate, Rambo 4, go check it out. You guys will love it. It's probably on streaming right now, or most of you guys probably have it on DVD.
Yes. And our next part of the number 8 here is our episode 8 guest, Mark Bomarito.
Big Mark.
Yes, he's doing good. And, life always passes out. It's fair share of challenges, but he got this beauty, Mr. Little Marciano, out of all of it. And so we just want to say congratulations. This kid is just the cutest kid.
Adorable.
Yes. And this little guy, he has 4 older sisters. So
wow.
yeah. So the Mark's has
Mark,
4
you better
daughters.
call them in for babysitting duty.
Yeah. But anyway, he's just beautiful and we just love him to death. And we just want to point everyone back to episode 8 and go listen to Mark's Rocky and Elvis, because he is a big Elvis fan as well.
He is a big Elvis guy.
And he was such a great guest, such a sweetheart. So sweet. And he just deserves this little guy and the joy that this little guy brings. So Mark Bomarito, congratulations. All right. Now, Mr. Michael, you sent out 2 questions to Sly and he got back to you.
Yeah, I did. I was so grateful for this. So I always have so much going on in my brain about the minutia of this Rocky thing, all the movies really, but specifically Rocky 1 for a variety of reasons. Anyways, maybe we'll put the long one up in a moment here. Okay. So I'd always wondered about the apartment in Rocky 1. So we all know 1818 Tusculum Street was filmed. The exteriors were filmed in Philly, okay, while the interiors were filmed out in Los Angeles somewhere. And in an article years ago, Sly had mentioned once somewhere in East Los Angeles. And I always wondered, what did that rooming house look like? That was a real rooming house where you could go and rent rooms. And did it look anything like the one in Philadelphia? So I asked Sly, and well, here's the response. I'll give it a read here. I remember it was in a horrible neighborhood suffering from urban blight in San Pedro, California. It was pretty disgusting. It was a small door on this flop hotel for transient and homeless. Hundreds of rats and cockroaches. It was pretty disgusting. The scene where I'm yelling to Paulie out the window, we put up a fake brick wall because it looked out over a filthy area, and it was pretty miserable downstairs. It was pretty miserable. Downstairs is where they had a liquor store right next to the entranceway. Mm-hmm. That's where I went when the producer Chardoff and Winkler pulled the plug right before what I considered the most important scene has come. He's come back from the arena and admits he can't win, but he just wants to go the distance. They didn't want to do the scene because we are at the limit for how much time we could shoot. It's the only time I lost it during filming because I tried to explain to them. This is the key to the whole movie. They turned the lights back on. The crew wanted to go home, but they agreed to one final tech. If I flubbed the line or something went wrong, technically that was it, end of show. Ironically, the next day I was getting dressed in my Rocky outfit and they come onto the set and say, "Kid, that was the best acted scene in the whole movie. It was great. Glad we did it."
We did it. We
see this is the thing that I find fascinating. And some of that stuff, obviously, we've known for a little while about the brick wall and that. But it's interesting when Sly puts it and confirms it all in a nice, because it bridges a few gaps I had in my storytelling that I like to pass on to Rocky fans. And for me, it just frustrates me all these years later. At the time, Sly's got these 2 producers trying to put the kibosh to it all because of a dollar sign. And then they kind of they don't take the credit for it, but they include themselves in on the brilliance of that moment. And of course, you're never going to hear someone ever say, "Oh, this is a Bob Chardoff, Irwin Winkler film." I know it says it on the opening of the movie. I get that. But everyone until the apocalypse is going to say, "Hey, did you see Sly Stallone's Rocky?"
Right.
They're not even going to say a John Avildsen film. It's Sly Stallone's Rocky. That's it. End of story. I mean, forget about it.
He's a creator.
Yeah. And so that to me is just fascinating. There was a second thing that I had asked about, and this one is a little shorter. This one is about the speech. When Rocky goes to the arena, and the shorts are the wrong color. I knew Sly had to change it up in that moment. He had to ad-lib or write something down just to go with it to explain why the shorts are the wrong color. But I then wondered, and I did overthink it, which is what I'm known for doing. So I overthought, and I was like, well, okay, if the scene was, if he had to say that the shorts, why the shorts the wrong color, and it doesn't really matter, Jurgen says it doesn't really matter. Is that why Rocky is sad and then he realizes he can't win? And no, that's not. The scene where he goes back to the apartment and he lays in bed with Adrian was filmed way before this. So that scene was always in the script where he says, all I want to do is go the distance. Right. That was always scripted. What was ad-libbed was just, Mr. Jurgens, I'm wearing white pants with a red stripe. It doesn't really matter, does it? I'm sure you're going to give us a good show. And, you know, Rocky's like, show. So it was a moment of genius on Sly's part, putting this together. Yeah. But again, I kind of knew this, but I didn't know for sure. So what I like is getting the confirmation. It's absolutely, this is how it went. Right. I think I know how it went. But when I'm telling these stories, if I have something wrong, I want to atone for it. I want to fix it. So that's why I'm so glad. Anyways, this is what he wrote me. Hello, my friend. The speech was always written, and the scene at the arena was actually done after the fight was over. I could tell because I was much lighter and feeling a little gaunt. So basically, I worked backwards because we shot the scene with Adrian and myself long before I went to the arena and did that scene with the promoter. And the only time I ever... the mistake the painters made was with the promoter. I just made it up on the spot. It's not in the screenplay. So basically, this is just a confirmation, and I loved it. I was just so grateful for that.
This is an example to me of how brilliant he is, right? Because he had to find a spot to throw this in, you know. And so I love that he put it before the scene that he put it, because it almost feeds the scene. I'm almost curious, what was the scene before they had to write that scene because of the short mix up, you know, because to me, oh, you're going to put on a good show. That's like, wait a minute, you know, I don't know. I couldn't imagine it any other way is my point.
I'll have to, you're right. I have to dig out the original script and I'll check in the script if it's written. If he added it in eventually about the shorts, and if he didn't in the original, because there's different scripts that have been for sale, so I don't know what script. Maybe finally someone wrote in the script or whatever. I don't know how these things work, but I'd like to check that out. Maybe it was just assuming the poster was the right color. Rocky's alone. And then Jurgens comes in and says, go home and get some sleep. It's going to be a big day tomorrow for you.
Right. I'm just curious what the original scene would have been. But another question for you to ask. All right. Well, we have our guest here waiting for us. We do. We have this dynamic duo, this team that we've been talking about, and we post them to death. This is Shawn McFadden and Olivia Ford, and we are just so proud of these two and what they've become as a team and what they've done individually and as a team. So I'm going to bring them in here. Here we go. Nice. Hey, guys.
Oh. Hello.
Hey, nice to see you. Thank you. Hey,
Shawn, Olivia, first time I'm meeting you, Olivia. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I wish I could get that many laughs when I tell jokes to Sue. You laugh more than when I tell a bad joke to Sue. So thank you. And Shawn, that's a great shirt.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You were just talking about 1818. And I looked at Olivia and I said, I'm glad I got the shirt on.
I'm glad you got it on too. And now we got to get one for Olivia. She's got a lovely shirt on, but we got to get her a Mike Conditor shirt. Yes. That's what we got to get on her. So we're going to get her one when you guys come to Philly again.
Sounds good.
Well, Olivia, I just want to thank you for coming on. You know, we've had Shawn on before for a big 70. You were episode 70, a very nice round number. And Shawn, you know, your episode I love. It's one of my favorites, and just, you know, what you endured as a young man and what you've done with that. There's many ways to go with, you know, the challenges you faced as a young man, and you you've channeled it well in a good way. And here we have Olivia, and I just love this relationship. And I just wanted, Shawn, for you to start about how you first met and then how you saw her into the boxing journey.
They were with another coach for a short period of time, just doing like boxing classes, and not thinking about competing or anything like that. And then that was before the COVID. And then after COVID, the girls returned to the gym, and I remember the first day they were back at the gym, and they come over and they introduced themselves to me. I was sitting in my locker, and I was getting ready for a fight. So they kind of worked out on their own for a couple of days, but asked questions, and I talked with them. And so everything just started kind of clicking to where, I was helping a lot of the other young men in the gym, and the girls were showing up every single day. And I remember asking them if they wanted to come to Lake Scranton on a Sunday run. I said, I do 7 miles. And Olivia came to the lake, and she never left.
Stacy, I want to just verify something Shawn said here. So I know he's telling the truth about Lake Scranton. How do I know that? Well, one day I was in visiting family, and I hadn't been to Lake Scranton in about 25 years. I have now walked around. Shawn, what is it, about 3.5 miles around?
3.5 miles, yes.
Yeah, 3.5 miles. Now, it's beautiful. I'm telling you, people, Google Lake Scranton. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's a lot of people get their, healthy walks, runs up there. So I ran into Shawn. We talked a little bit. He went on his way, and I went down the path. First of all, I forgot it was about a 4-mile walk down the path to get to the main path around the water reservoir that's there. And I'll tell you how I know Shawn is in really good shape, because I walked the 3.5 miles, and I felt a tremendous strain on my hamstring. Okay. And Shawn's running it. So I just want to say, I've witnessed this. I've seen the man in action. Shawn, please continue. I just wanted to back you up on that.
Okay. Thank you. So then it wasn't long. We started working out every day, mixing in some sparring, some pad work. Mm-hmm. We started talking about maybe one day thinking about competing and stuff like that. And in the beginning, what's funny is because she was we like to make a joke. She had like 2 left feet. And was just learning how to throw punches and stuff like that. So when I found her, she was like really we started from scratch for everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And but what I seen, and this I told her 2 weeks into training. I said, kiddo, I said, you have something special. And I told her grandma this, I told her mom that, a couple other people. And I don't think they believed me at the time. But from places I've been and experience I've had, sometimes you can see by the look in somebody's eyes and the determination and will that she brought to the gym every single day. When she couldn't do something, and she would do it 100 times, 200 times to just get it right once. Yeah. And that's what told me. So you can't teach heart. You can't teach will, and you can't teach dedication. Yeah. What I've learned as a coach, you can teach somebody technique. You can teach speed through the technique. You can gain more strength, but you cannot teach heart, and you cannot teach will. And that's what she had. And that's
Shawn, let me ask Olivia something.
Yes, go ahead.
Olivia, I'm going to give you a question, and the question, you may have heard this before, and it comes from Adrian. I don't understand why anyone would want to become a fighter, male or female. What is it for you that you found attractive about being punched in the face and punching back?
Because I can't sing or dance.
Because I can't sing or dance. Oh, that's my girl.
Yes. Now that's a Rocky fan right there.
Good girl. Well done. 10 points. 10 points.
Are you kidding me? That's incredible. Now let's say we go a little deeper. What is it about the fight game that brought you in to start just going down this road?
I don't know. At first, when I started, I just kind of wanted to like try it out and like see what it was really about. But I almost like immediately got really into it, and I knew I wanted to fight like early on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You wouldn't really think because I'm really quiet, but you know, everybody's got things that they deal with mentally and stuff, and I think it's a really good like outlet for a lot of that stuff.
I think that's a great point. I know a lot of guys that work out in the gym, a lot of girls that work out in the gym. They always say it's all like working out with weights. They say it's like a mental psychiatrist. You can work out your stress, your pain, your frustration. So, you know, you're a beast in the gym. And then when you come home, you're a puppy dog. Things are much better, or you figured out things. Stacy, does that make sense to you?
It does. And Shawn and I were actually talking earlier, and I think the sweetest thing that I love about Olivia is the dynamic between her sweetness, the way Rocky was very sweet, very kind, very loyal, very, you know, he wasn't out there to make trouble, but you get in the ring and she takes care of business just the way Rocky would take care of business, you know? So I love that dichotomy because that is very Rocky. Her personality is very Rocky, very sweet, very kind, very gentle. But then she gets in the ring. So let's talk about this. I love, I mean, you can't find, she's #1 in her weight class. Let's brag about Olivia for a minute. Help me, Shawn. Let's talk about her accomplishments because I am blown away.
What weight are you fighting at?
I fight at 165 pounds.
Awesome.
Oh, I gotcha.
So Shawn, tell us that journey. Tell us her first fight. Tell us how people run because they're too afraid to fight her. Tell me all about that.
Yeah, we had her first fight was an actual Golden Gloves regional championship match. Talk about going in head first. It was crazy against a girl who was the reigning Golden Gloves champion from the year before. And then so we did not get the decision in her first bout. And sometimes you from a loss you learn more than you could from 10 wins put together.
I would agree.
And then truthfully, that with everything that we were going through with our old gym and everything like that, that loss leading to other things is what brought us here to create our own boxing gym. And then so we had a rematch with that girl a few months later, and she went in there and she was like an animal. She gave the girl 2 standing 8 counts. And she won the match in the girl's hometown.
Wow.
That's huge.
She came out with this big entourage. They had a big, beautiful belt, everything. And Olivia went in there and she, what I like to call the alligator pit. She went into an alligator pit and she won the fight that she was never supposed to win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Wow. That's incredible.
Yes.
So Olivia, there you are. You won this. You weren't expected to win. I'm curious, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? Like, what is that experience like for you?
Do you mean like after we won or like just going down there in general?
You know what? I'm going to say both because there's walking into it, which has got to be scary. And what's the self-talk? Because I'm all about, you know, how we speak to ourselves and we have to speak to ourselves very positively. And then you get the win. So let's start with the walking in and what is going through your mind and how are you psyching yourself up?
Well, it was like stressful, like really stressful, but in a good way. But I already fought her before, obviously, and that was in my hometown before, and we didn't get the decision. And we also had just newly formed our own gym, so it was kind of like the whole weight of our new gym was like riding on that. You know?
Yes. So that fueled you. Yes. Yes. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I love that. And you get the win. They call your name. And did you know, you must have known that you were going to win. I mean, you must have had a good sense of your performance for that fight.
When we went in there, it was really nerve-wracking, I think, to see like her big entourage and stuff,
right?
Because it definitely plays mind games. Like, I don't know, like all we had was like, it was me, coach, and my sister, so it was like a little awkward.
Right. Well, here's the underdog story. I love that right there. That's just that's beautiful. And it is a little extra special when you win in their hometown.
Oh yeah, you go back and take what's yours.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I love how you said it was a sort of a fueling, you know, this is Cerberus boxing and you brought it and it's sort of, you know,
Cerberus boxing. I have to ask this, Stacy. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Cerberus was the 3-headed dog that guarded the gates of hell, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so how does that apply to the name for boxing?
Okay, so it's really cool because we were trying to think of a name that meant something to call our gym. Okay. And when we started, it was Olivia, Raven, and myself. Okay, so we liked the mythical creatures and stuff like that. So we found we also like Harry Potter and we like Fluffy.
Okay.
Point, but
I thought of Fluffy too, so
yes,
I'm with you.
That's so funny you said that. Yes, you did.
The coolest thing about the Cerberus was his loyalty. Okay. His protection of others. Yeah. Okay. But the coolest thing was because there was 3 of us. The heads mean each head has a meaning: past, present, and future. Gotcha. Okay. So I was the past. Okay. Was the present, and Raven was coming as the future.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Nice.
And that's why we stayed with that, and it was the coolest thing. And a little time, Raven was very young, and she had a few fights, and she just moved on for right now.
Gotcha. So you're the core founding members, and your hope is to just continue to build it out from there.
Yes. Yep.
Love it. All right, back to Olivia. So now you have this win. Had you had a few wins before this second fight?
No, this is only my second fight and my first win. And I honestly think still, even with all the national tournaments we went to and everything, I think that was the most meaningful and important fight because it's what like started off our gym. That was our first fight as Cerberus boxing.
Right.
Okay. Wow.
So that's very special. Yeah.
I like that. And it's also a bit of redemption. Yes. You get to atone for the loss in your hometown. Now you go and you took it back. You owned it. And that is, I mean, it just gave me a little bit of chills just thinking about that. That really is a monumental achievement, especially so early on. Right. Okay, Stacy, where are we? Let's go from there.
So for Shawn, so now you're trying to plan fights for her. And you've said you can't because you can't find people to fight her. Like, tell me about that.
So we after we won there, it's kind of crazy because, and I tell her this all the time, and she said this earlier, but let's put it. She put all of the weight on the whole Cerberus boxing, everything that we were trying to do, right on her shoulders, and took it into that ring that night.
Wow.
She solidified everything we were doing.
Right.
That's
I'm
crazy.
So happy.
And it was a very defining moment, and she did that. So we tried to find people everywhere, and it was like all of a sudden nobody was around. We actually had to go. We had to start traveling. We went to New Jersey. We found the fight in New Jersey. She stopped the girl in the first round. Then we went to New York State. We found another one a couple months later. And she won a very dominant decision, unanimous there.
Nice.
And with the spy.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I got to tell you, if you don't mind me telling you, this was a very, very, this was like, remember when Mickey had to cut Rocky?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay. So she had in this fight in New York, she had a sty in her eye. Okay.
Okay.
And she was a little nervous about it. And but we were ready. And so the first round, she dominated the first round. The second round, she got caught with a hook. And it popped the sty.
Owie.
And so now we're in the corner and she was starting to cry. And she said, "What am I do? I can't see." I said, "Listen, kiddo, I don't want to take a chance of you getting hurt. If you don't feel," I said, "we'll put the towel in." And she said, "No, no, no, no." I said, "Okay." So listen, I'm trying to wipe it out. And I said, "Listen, this is what you have to do. Okay. You have a long reach on her. Whenever you see her coming at you, you have to hit her with a 1-2. You have to hit or a double jab. Keep her as soon as you see her, even if it's a little bit blurry, put those straight punches out." Well, she did that with one eye and she dominated and she won unanimous decision in that fight.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That is so awesome.
Yep.
I thought you were going to tell me that you cut it like with your thumbnail. You just went in and popped it. I thought you said, "Go on. Cut me, Shawn. Cut me." That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a great moment, and it just attests to her heart once again. Yeah, I'm not quitting. Coach, fix me up, coach. Come up with the strategy, and I'm going to win this fight, and that's exactly what she did.
Wow.
And Olivia, how old are you right now?
I just turned 17 in April.
And how old are you with the sty incident?
Was I 15 then?
Yeah,
I think
15.
So, yeah.
15. Yep.
Tough as nails.
See, this is like I'm saying to myself Shawn, when you're telling me about you guys going down in business together, basically coach, fighter, and also but in the gym together. So now I'm thinking to myself, how do you know she's a kid? She's going to change her mind like all these kids do every 30 seconds, right? They change their mind and boxing's not for me. No.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Yes.
She is one of the few young women who have this incredible dedication to apply themselves and not a lot of these kids today, Shawn, they feel like they're entitled, that they're owed something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not feeling that from her.
No.
Can you talk on that a little bit?
Yes. She just listens. And she just works. And no matter what, if I asked her to run through a brick wall, she would do it. Probably because she would trust me enough to say, "Okay, well, coach probably told me to run through that brick wall, but it's probably made of foam." Right. And she just, I've never seen somebody work so hard. Not only in boxing, but she's a National Honor Society. Her grades are crazy. She's been taking college classes for over a year now. So when she graduates from high school, she's going to have 2 years of college already under her belt with an associate's degree.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
All right, you're just making this up now.
No,
you're just making it up. No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like this, these are all the things that before I knew anything about her, just those first couple weeks in the gym, when I went and I told her family members that she's going to be a world champion, I see something, and everything we've been manifesting through hard work, traveling, everything we've been doing, and everything's true.
Wow.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. Olivia, that's amazing. You're making us all look like slackers is what you're doing. Making us look like bums. We're all bums.
You definitely should be the poster human for your age group, for your generation.
Yes.
Because really a lot of your peers should be looking at you with awe and inspiration and to say, what has she got that I don't have? And I think, Shawn, you said those few things in the early beginning, the will, the want, the desire, you can't, the determination, how do you teach that? You can't, right?
You can't. Yeah.
That's just part of who you are.
And I don't know. I know we sound like old people when we say this, but there is something lost. The good old fashioned hard work is somehow missing. And so to see it in you, Olivia, is refreshing because it's like, okay, someone in this age group understands the importance of that no quit attitude. Shawn, I wanted to congratulate you on your win. Somebody got back. Now, when's the last time you had a fight? Because a while, right?
Well, I haven't been able to fight in over a year. For some of the same reasons that we couldn't find Olivia fights.
Right. Nice.
We traveled, went 5 different places, and either the guys didn't show up or something happened, or it was just crazy. So I finally got to fight after a year. It was almost a year to the day.
Nice.
And it was for a Masters World Championship, which is one of the biggest tournaments of the year for us, the Root Dog Masters World Championships, and guys come from England, from Ireland, from Australia, South Africa, and it's a big tournament. And I won the whole thing in my weight class.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's incredible. I mean, that must just elevate you of all your hard training, all your beliefs, all your philosophies put into this boxing motif, and here you win. I mean, what does that feel like when you go home and you share that with Olivia and your family? What is that like for you?
Oh, it's amazing. And what's the coolest thing is that she's right there with me. She actually switches places, and she's my coach.
I got to be
nice.
Yep. And,
that must have been fun.
Yes. It's so surreal, and it's like, this is why as a coach, I train, and I love, if I could give one piece of advice to other coaches that still have an opportunity to still compete with your kids. Like, still stay fighting, still stay trying to do whatever you're teaching, and suffer along with them. Don't just blow a whistle and say you're not doing it right.
Okay.
Show them. And then, because here's the thing, like, even with all the other kids at the gym, when we used to be there and I'd be training for a fight, and everybody said, look, the old man's doing it. So if he's not complaining or crying, we can't. So you you make a mentality, and it's really, really cool. And that's pretty awesome. And that's what I like to, I share with her that no matter what, we're gonna hard. We're gonna say we're gonna do things, and we're gonna go and we're gonna do it.
Right.
Olivia, being that this is a Rocky podcast, are you familiar with the characters in the Rocky world?
Yeah, actually, I wasn't, before I started boxing, I wasn't very familiar with it, but I see the influence that Rocky and Mr. Stallone's had on Coach, and he's actually spread that influence to me over the last 3 years.
I love it. Now, have you seen all of the Rockies?
Yes.
Of the Rockies, which one, do you have one that stands out that is your favorite or a go-to?
I like the original the best, but I also really like the director's cut of Rocky IV.
Interesting. Interesting. You know what's interesting about that answer is that on my tours that I do, it's either Rocky 1, and I know it's called, so you people watching the podcast right now, I know it's called Rocky, not Rocky 1, but when you deal with as many Rocky fans as I do, they call it Rocky 1, and so to differentiate, I got to call it Rocky 1. You guys wouldn't believe how much crap I get for calling Rocky 1. I know that. So anyways, they either say on tours Rocky 1 or Rocky 4. And for you, the two, it's almost like a great blend for you, it seems. That's amazing to me. It really is. Okay. What's the future look like for you guys?
Well, we are in a few weeks' time. We are going to be going to Kansas to fight in the USA Boxing National Tournament and Summer Festival.
Nice.
And this is actually the first big national tournament that she pulled my fingers to get me to fight with her. So I signed up. So we're both got matches already.
Nice.
And then we come back from that, and we're having a benefit spaghetti dinner to help raise money to take her back to Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana, for the 2nd annual National Women's Championships, where she got her #1 ranking, and we are defending it.
Wow.
Nice.
Very nice.
A #1 ranking. I mean, that's a big deal.
the girls we're fighting in Wichita are all ranked too.
Yes.
It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're all fighting.
Oh wow!
Oh, neat.
Oh my goodness!
Well, this is going to be a big deal. You're going to have to keep us posted on that. I love it when you send the video clips, Shawn. Send us video clips, and
I will.
I love that. I love that.
Now, Stacy, before we let these guys out of here, what else do we want to cover before we let them go?
Thank you. You know, I've been saying to Olivia and Shawn for years now that they're very, you know, Rocky and Mickey, but they're also very, in Olivia handles it better than Tommy Gunn does, but they're very Rocky 5 as well. And I love the difference between Olivia and Tommy Gunn is that Olivia actually listens to Shawn, you know, and there were things that Rocky was trying to save Tommy Gunn from, but you know, there are things about the industry that aren't quite perfect. And I know, Shawn, you wanted to address things in vague terms, but you know, you had some experiences that led to you wanting to start your own boxing gym, and I wanted to give you a chance to talk about that.
Yeah, yes, I appreciate that. And we had a long, hard road to get here. And you know, it's funny because when she first came to the gym, a lot of the other coaches and different things didn't really pay attention. So I started helping her and her sister. And then when she asked me to be her coach, and probably like 10 times, just like Rocky said to Tommy, I don't know how to coach and I don't know how to manage. I've always been the one being managed. I was scared to death because, and I don't get scared of many things, but because it's you're responsible for another human life.
Right.
You know, I send her in that ring. I train her, send her in that ring, and somebody's trying to pound on her like raw meat, you know?
Right.
And so I was afraid of that. And then, but as I seen her talents develop, and her skills develop and her heart just growing, so did everybody else at the same time. And when I tell you, other promoters, other coaches were coming in from all other angles, especially promoters and stuff like that, and everything that could be done to try to put a line down through the middle of us and different things like that. They did. And just like in Rocky 5, the Don King and the George
Washington Duke.
George Washington Dukes. Yes. They're out there and they exist.
Yeah.
And when they see you have a good young fighter, you know, especially in the beginning, if they didn't want to have nothing to do with them because they didn't show no talent, and all of a sudden they do, well, they want them, you know. And I had to find it's crazy because I didn't know how to be a coach, and I had to find my voice to be able to protect her. Like I was always like, somebody would come in and say, well, let's let her do this, let's let her do that. And in the beginning, I'm like, okay, well, we could all work together. But then I found out that that's not the way. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm responsible for her. I'm responsible for her health and well-being as her coach. And I have to put my foot down. I have to say no. And I have to make now. There's times where we make decisions together. But when it comes to her safety, I have to have the say to protect her. And I had to move out, and we had to move into our own gym. Because that's the only way I felt like I could have to do the right thing and protect her the right way.
Wow. That's
amazing. Amazing. Olivia, are you a southpaw or traditional fighter?
I'm orthodox.
Are you? Okay. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thought I'd ask. Just on the off chance you were. Southpaw, South Scranton, South Taylor, Old Forge. By the way, if you people are wondering, these are just towns up in our neck of the woods where we kind of grew up. That's, you know.
She is working on being a universal fighter.
Gotcha.
So which is both stances, as well as being able to fight on the outside and on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Olivia, do you go MMA at any point, or do you stay traditional boxing?
Probably just boxing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think MMA, it's like MMA is too violent for me. I can't watch it. It's too vicious, man. I mean, at least with boxing, there's ring generalship. There's an art, a science to boxing. There's, I don't know, the brutalness. I can't watch. Do you guys watch MMA?
Yes, we do a little. Yes, we actually have some very, very good friends of ours, the Rosas, that we're very good friends. We do a polar plunge with them every year.
Oh, right, okay.
Abuse and stuff like that. And Charles Rosa is a UFC veteran. He's had like 12, 13 fights in the UFC. And his younger brother, Lucas, just turned pro, and he's 2-0 as a professional fighter, and he's well on his way to be a UFC fighter as well.
Wow.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Got to remember not to owe that person any money.
No.
Don't owe money. No, thank you.
It's funny. MMA to me is it's tough. It's a tough watch because I'm like, wait a minute. We have laws protecting dogs from dog fighting, but we let two humans go at it like so hard. You can literally cause brain damage. I don't know. It makes me nervous to watch.
I say better than in the ring than in the grocery store because one of them's upset that I bumped them with the cart or I cut them off at the gas station. Because, listen, let's face facts. They could tie my spine into a pretzel. It wouldn't take much, and I don't need that aggravation in my life.
So true.
Stacy, anything else before I ask Olivia 2 questions?
No, thank you very much, both of you. You know how much I love the both of you. Olivia, you are you wow me every day. I watch everything that you both are doing. Shawn, you're like the angel on her shoulder, really, in a million ways. And you guys take care of each other in a very, very Mickey and Rocky way. And I've considered it a blessing just watching your relationship and in the way you guys take care of each other. And now you have this gym together, and it's just I think it's going to become very, very big thing. And I think whatever is in the future, I think perhaps maybe you're not even thinking you're not thinking big enough, because I think it's going to be bigger than you're guessing right now. So I'm just so happy that you guys came on.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I think she's going to be an Olympic gold medalist in 2028.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Shawn, one thing for you. You and I have a mutual friend, Shawn O'Donnell from Ireland. He has become one of my closest friends and confidants. Great guy. And so he sends his best to you and a big hello. He can't wait to see you soon.
He's the best. I cannot wait to see him either. When he comes in, we're gonna go to Pittsburgh. We're gonna do a whole bunch of things too.
I heard.
Yep.
It's gonna be a trip, and I'm really I'm hoping I get to hang out with you guys at least some of the time. I probably will skip the Pittsburgh trip. I do enough driving, but I know he's down for it. He is a huge fan of that horror genre, so he can't wait to go out and check that out.
Well, Mike, how about we come pick you up and you just travel with us, and I'll drive.
If I don't have to drive, maybe if I don't have to drive. But I tell you what, I take like 7 pee stops along the way. I go a lot. So if you don't mind stopping, you got it.
Nope, you got it.
Awesome. Olivia, I don't think I have been more impressed by someone of like 2 generations behind me. I'm really, really blown away by your composure, by your dedication, and knowing Shawn the way that I do, the way he has faith in you speaks volumes. So these 2 questions are kind of questions we ask everybody, and I'd love your thoughts on it. If you go back, all right, you're what? So you're 17 now, you said?
Yeah.
All right, if you go back 5 years, what would you say to yourself 5 years ago? Is there any bits of wisdom you would want to impart on yourself if you could time travel?
I don't know. I'm like a completely different person than I was.
Wow.
I was always really I was a little heavier, and I didn't have a lot of confidence or anything. I was always like that little quiet, weird. I still kind of am, but I have a lot more confidence now, having been in the ring and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know what I would tell. Like, I don't.
That's okay, because when you're world champion and we have you back on, I'm going to ask you this question again, and you can write out the answer, and then you can have it right there and read it to me. All right. Second question. You're at a gala event, and you find yourself in an elevator, and it's you and Sylvester Stallone. What do you say? You got 30 seconds.
I'd probably ask him to spar.
Nice. And he just might do that in the little 6-foot cube. He might. Oh, that'd be great. Listen, you guys are both fantastic. Shawn, glad to have you back. I cannot wait to have you both back on here again to check in. So don't be strangers, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You gotta show him your tattoo on your...
What do you got?
So I got something Coach tells me all the time is trust the process. Yep. And I used to have I had a bracelet that I wore all the time, and I finally got it tattooed on me. But another thing I got tattooed on me was something Mr. Stallone always says. I have keep punching on my one.
Oh, you see? And this is the most perfect way to end this segment. Keep punching on your arms, and until we see you guys again, keep punching, guys.
Keep punching.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Keep punching.
Keep punching.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Has it on her body. I love that. I love her. She is.
Yeah,
she's adorable. You know, I think, you know, what do you tell your 12-year-old self when you've accomplished what she's accomplished by 17? I think all 12-year-olds out there need to know that how much of a difference 5 years can make of life experience, of daring to try something.
Right.
That if you just dare, I know you might be shy or feel awkward.
Yeah.
But my God, what she's accomplished in 5 years is a big deal. And of course, having Shawn there to encourage her in the most appropriate ways is guidance that's priceless. So,
well, I'm proud of the both of them, and I can't wait to check in and see where they are in the future because our kid's going places. Yeah,
she is. I think we're going to be having. She's going to be much more well known the next time she's here. I'm betting.
Yeah, right. I know. For sure. That's for sure. Stace, is that it? Are we out of here?
It is. That is it. That is 108. What a great guest. It was a 2-for-1 today, but thank you guys for coming in. And
I like that dynamic of two people. That was good. It changed it up a little bit. Hopefully the comments in the live chat, you guys will have appreciated these two. I'm pretty sure you guys will. Stacy, where can people find you?
I'm over at Had Me at Yo on Instagram, as well as the Rocky Files, and on Facebook, we are at the Rocky Files podcast. And Michael, what about
you? People can find me, the Yo Philly Film Tour on Instagram. Same name over at TikTok, where they hate my guts. And we do some great battling, which is pretty fun. I love if I'm being honest, I love slamming these fools.
You do.
It's kind of fun. And I wrote a little book called Cue the Rocky Music. And there you go. It's at where all places sell books there, so you can check that out. I love that cover. I really do. Cool. Everything on that cover, by the way, is explained in the book, especially the blue W. What does that blue W mean, and why was it so important in me coming of age? Well, you got to check out the book. Also, a little movie called The Pretender. The Dream is Real, people. This is a documentary by the great Detroit film documentarian Jimmy Toscano, who is not only a great a director, but he's also a good personal friend of mine. So go check that out. Streaming platforms, you'll love it. There you go. And until next week, Stacy, listen, keep punching.
Bye.